Good morning, this is Dr. Cooper, and this is a podcast for the ENG102 online freshman composition course. Today's podcast is the Unit 2 podcast. We also just happen to be in week 2, and as you can see, I've updated the home page so that you can easily get to the module that we are in. So we're in Module 1, so we'll go ahead and click on that. You can also get to the modules by clicking on the module link on the left side. Okay, so in Module 1, Module 1, we've already completed Unit 1, and now we're moving on to Unit 2. So it's very important that you always start by looking at the Unit 2 page. Alright, so on the Unit 2 page, it will tell you lots of information, one being that you should plan for about 6 hours this week. I can tell that many of you aren't planning for enough time, and as a result, you're not doing as well. Remember, I'm trying to help you do the best that you can do, and in order to do that, you have to spend time in this class. Alright, so we have Chapter 24 to read, and all you have to do is click on this link, and it'll lead you over to Connect Composition after a couple of clicks, and you'll be right in Connect Composition, where you also have lots of work. This is the one button that most people miss, so right here where it says Connect. Hit that, and it'll take you right into Connect Composition. And in there, you'll see the Unit 2 folder, and that's where you'll find the chapter that you have to read. So make sure that you're doing that. Alright, back over to Connect. We're going to go back over in the modules and to the Unit 2 page again. Okay, so in here you'll see that we have 2 lessons this week. So after you finish reading Chapter 24, we'll come back to this in a second. We have 2 lessons, Lessons 2.1, Bibliographies, and Lessons 2.2, Writing Summaries. You should spend about 30 to 40 minutes doing both of those lessons. So they're not long lessons, but very important lessons, especially the one on writing summaries, and also the one on writing bibliographies, because your first assignment this week is on writing an annotated bibliography, and you need to know the difference between annotated, working bibliography, reference pages, and works cited pages, and that's what that lesson will help you with. Okay, now these articles up here, handouts, are all links, and you can see that the links are written in questions. These are what we call research questions, and so when you click on the link, it will open up an article that helps answer the research question in either the yay or nay fashion. So if you haven't realized yet, which you should because I have made a video about it, you're going to be writing an argumentative essay. And the first step in that process is for us to explore different topics that we could write about that fall underneath our theme of personal freedoms. So these 6 topics are all approved topics. And if anyone chooses one of these 6 topics, then you are approved. You just have to write a good prospectus proposal. Now, if you are thinking of writing on another topic, remember in my first video to you in the orientation, I pointed out a few topics that are off limits. We ended up talking about a few of those in the discussion last week, one being gay marriage. We don't need to argue that anymore, as the Supreme Court has already decided it for us. So we aren't going to be arguing that, and also legalization of marijuana. We're not going to be arguing that either. But there are plenty of topics left. When I chose these 6, I had to cut it down from about 20 that I wanted to add, but I chose these 6 instead. So what you're going to do is you're not going to read all of these articles. You might want to open them up and look at them because you're going to read any 2 for assignment number 1. And so assignment number 1 is going to take you a while. These assignments, since you only have 10 in the whole class, these assignments are pretty in-depth assignments. They're not something that you can sit down in 20 minutes and complete. This might take you a couple of hours to complete assignment number 1. So you want to make sure that you plan accordingly. So that's where a lot of the time is for this week, is in assignment number 1 and also in assignment number 2. Plan for 1 to 2 hours. Now I put down Research Prospectus 1, which is your proposal. It's not actually due until next week, but I just wanted you to get a head start in seeing what it is. Okay, so for the plan this week, what we're going to do is we're going to read different articles that fall underneath the heading of personal freedoms. We're going to do 2 assignments where we explore those different articles and also do a preliminary research on the internet and try to see what else is out there for topics. So for assignment number 1, I'm teaching you how to use a new program called RefMe, and RefMe will help you keep your bibliography in order, how to format it correctly. So we're going to be learning both MLA and APA in this class, and we're starting with MLA. So RefMe, when you go in to use it, you'll want to set it to MLA first, and then we'll switch it over to APA in a couple of weeks. So all of the steps that you need to be able to do this assignment are here. You can prepare by reading chapter 24 and doing your lessons. Then you're going to read any two of these articles. You're going to summarize those two articles. That's what annotate means. Mark it up, and then you'll summarize what you've marked up and highlighted. So you'll summarize the two articles, and then you're going to record these bibliographies in RefMe. And so here's a quick screenshot of what that would look like, and then a quick note and so forth. So how do you submit it? It tells you right there what you'll need to do to submit your assignment, and you'll submit it right here in Connect. So as long as you are following the directions and watching the video on how to set up your accounts, you shouldn't have any trouble with this assignment. Now with assignment number 2, you're going to be using another online program called Diigo. And in this scenario, what you're doing is you are all sharing in the research process. So for one of you to go out and try to find all the possible topics that you can write about, it would take a very long time. But instead, what you're going to do is each of you is responsible for finding 5 websites that would be possible good topics for our project. So anything that falls under personal freedoms, you can research it, except for the topics that I've already outlawed in my first video and in the discussion forum. So you'll go in and find 5 websites with 5 either the same topic or 5 different topics. It's up to you to decide that. And you're going to share it with everybody in the class in this program called Diigo. Now what you'll need to make sure that you do, see how my video isn't showing up? That's because I'm using Chrome or I'm using Firefox, and I have to allow for Firefox to show the videos. I'll come back to that. But anyway, these are the steps. And one step that you don't want to skip is joining the ENG102 Diigo group. Once you join the group, then all of the ones that you save, you can save to that group and we can see it. So instead of you having to find more than 5, you're going to find 5, each classmate will find 5, and as a total, we'll end up with 50 to 75 different websites that we can look at and explore topics for. So it really cuts the research process in half because we are not trying to do all the work ourselves. We are sharing it, okay? So if you want to further research the 6 approved topics, you can do that, or if you want to come up with a new topic, you can do that, and then this is what the assignment will look like when you're done. Okay, so make sure that you're following the directions there and you're looking at the examples. This video tells you how to set up your Diigo account and how to get started with that assignment. So I switched over to Firefox, and you can see the video that I've created is not showing, but this time I get a message up in the address bar. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to show that some content is not secure, and I'm going to disable protection for now. And then once the page reloads, I will be able to see the video. So you might need to do that as well. So there's the video that I created showing you how to do this assignment. So if you're not seeing the video, you want to either change your browser or make sure that your browser is showing insecure content. It's just a YouTube video, so I'm not quite sure why it's not showing. The other 2 showed. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this unit. Let me go back in and make sure that we've covered everything. Let's close this up. All right, so we are in Unit 2. We have these 2 lessons that need to be completed. One needs to be done by today, the other by Sunday, and then your 2 assignments are due by Sunday as well. Okay, so when you go into Unit 2, which you should always do, you'll see all of that same information there, and the articles and so forth. Okay? Now, the other thing that you need to do is to make sure that you're checking in announcements. I've posted a couple announcements for you. One on how to access your online course using your mobile device. Okay, and then last week's podcast. Now I can tell that people aren't watching these videos, so let's go. If you really want help in how to do well in this class, you can't skip anything. You got to do all of the good things. And then, of course, if you have questions, don't be afraid to go into Ask Piazza and ask any question that you might have. I've posed a question for you, got any questions, and asked you to fill out this quick little poll about how's it going so far? Is it a piece of cake, or are you not sure yet, or are you wondering what the heck you got yourself into? And only 3 people have viewed that. So there's many places in this course where many of you are skipping, so don't forget to do that. Now you'll also see when you're over here that your discussion 1A for next week is already posted, and so you can get started with that discussion at any point. You can start today if you wanted to, but it's not an assignment until next week, and your first post will be due by next Wednesday. So that's a little bit a ways off, but it's there, and you can also always start with that right away if you want to. Okay, that's it. So good luck to you this week, and if you have any questions, ask Piazza.